If you are like me, also impromptu clicked on this video and have nothing better to do, then stay with me. My particularity is that I'm a big fan of Japanese knitting patterns and magazines. And most of the patterns that I knit are from these Japanese magazines, but also from not so mainstream patterns. Stick with me for the next 10 to 15 minutes and you will see what I have to show you. First is these Japanese knitting magazines. My love to Japanese knitting magazines started 15 years ago when I moved to Japan. I lived in Tokyo for 4 years, and during this time I immersed myself into the crafting community and into this crazy new Japanese world. Now it's a little bit more accessible because but many Japanese craft books have been translated into English, French, German and other European languages. And there are more YouTubers and Instagrammers who promote the craft from the Japanese craft magazines. But 15 years ago, when I moved to Tokyo, it was like a brand new topic. Nobody really talked about this. Nobody in Europe knew about this huge, crazy, exciting crafting world. Before I moved to Japan in 2010, I've been knitting and sewing for the majority of my life. I took knitting needles when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I've been actually knitting through my childhood and teenage years. Then I stopped during my 20s and I picked up knitting in my 30s again. As for sewing, I learned how to sew at school and I've been sewing on and off, but I started seriously sewing in my 30s. When I moved to Japan, I was in the beginning of this chapter where I started sewing and knitting quite a lot because I was not happy with what I was seeing in the shops. The quality of fabrics and the quality of sewing and knitting was not very amazing, to say the least. I also didn't want to support all the sweatshop work from the mainstream high street brands. And that was the reason why I decided that I wanted to sew everything in my wardrobe, from underwear to the outerwear. Spoiler alert, that's exactly what happened. When I moved to Japan, I was in this phase of my life where I was actively into sewing and knitting and making my own clothes as a rebellion, you may say, or just the rejection of the mainstream fashion. And I decided to bring my skill to the next level. I signed up to handmade. Handmade, it's a French fashion school which had its subsidiary in Tokyo. So I signed up to the evening courses to study pattern making and fashion design. I studied there for 2 years and successfully learned how to make my own patterns, which unfortunately I don't do a lot. This is just to give you a little bit understanding of what I did in Japan and why I'm talking about these Japanese craft magazines. So when I lived in Japan in the beginning of 2010s, I studied in handmade. I was also actively discovering the fashion world of Japan and of the rest of the world, and that's how I came across Japanese craft magazines. I have actually quite a lot of them here and in another corner of my room, but today I'm focusing particularly on knitting. What do I like about Japanese knitting in particular? Well, the answer is quirkiness and imagination, which does not exist in Western patterns, at least not in the mainstream patterns. I also like that the Japanese knitting instructions are extremely simple. They are not graded. Each pattern exists in one size only. And so when you read the description, it would be very, very short. It's just like 6 lines. They tell you where to begin, from top or from bottom, what are the main elements that you need to use in your sweater, and then they will have the measurements of the finished garment, and then you are supposed to know how to make this garment fit your size. For some, maybe this will be quite challenging, but I think that's the beauty of this pattern, is that you can make it as big or as small as you need to, and you can modify this pattern based on not only your own size but on different like personal imaginative elements. So this was quite a long introduction. Now let's jump into the actual knitting. So the first knitted object that I wanted to show you is this diamond cardigan. So this pattern is not from the Japanese sewing magazines, but from an established designer on a Ravelry. So I purchased this cardigan on Ravelry and I knitted it last winter. This pattern, unlike the other patterns in the Japanese knitting magazines, is graded. So if you're interested, go and check out this cardigan. I like texture. I like texture on knitted garments. Just stockinette stitch can be interesting, and it's always good to have a few very simple knitted sweaters in stockinette stitch. But I particularly like cables, textures, shapes. It makes a very simple garment stand out. Now to the knitting magazines. So from this knitting magazine, I knitted a vest. This vest is originally like white main color and blue accent details around the neckline and the hem. I decided to make it pink. That's how it looks like now. I also like that it has very dramatic openings on the side. This vest is perfect for layering. Now during winter time, I would usually put it as the second layer over my t-shirt or a long sleeve, and then I either layer with this cardigan, which makes it really nice texture, a lot of knitted texture. Both are oversized, so it creates this feeling of fullness. Or I can use it with this cardigan, and because of similar accents, the pink one here and pink one here, it makes it also quite a nice combination. This cardigan is also oversized, and it creates a very nice effect of texture and color. Then, let me just stop a few moments on this particular magazine. This magazine has a lot of interesting models which take a classical garment into the next level. For instance, the vest that you see on the cover has different front and back. While the front shows cables, then the back showcases this lovely pattern. And actually you can wear it in reverse. This magazine, together with these two, are my all-time favorite knitting magazines. This one is all about white, Every single garment in this magazine is white, but each garment is quite quirky and imaginative. And this one is all about accessories. It has an array of accessories, and they're also quite interesting in terms of construction and creativity. So let's talk about this one first. No, let's talk about the accessories first. So far, I have made based on the pattern from this magazine, and that's how it looks like. Here it's done in gray. I did it in pink because my latest crush is pink, cream, purple, as you can see from the other garments that I'm wearing. And I like it so much. I cycle, so this is very comfortable. I just put my ear warmers, and it's perfect. And then when I go indoors, I use it as a scarf. That's how it looks. The next garment that I'm knitting from this book is this super cute beanie. It's a friend's birthday present that I started 2 days ago. It's a hat, well, beanie, that is going to be super cute. It's almost done. It's very funky. I love it. I actually want to make one for myself. Look like this on my head. Yeah, so I think it's a matter of 2 hours and the hat will be done. And then I want to show you this all white magazine, and my favorite garment that I would like to knit sometime this winter is this apron. This apron is everything I need for the everyday styling and wear. I can use it in summer, winter, spring, autumn, any time of the year. Just layering it with different garments, and I absolutely love the pocket. I love to have the pocket. I love the idea of pockets. These are usually very practical. I always carry something in my pockets. I just hope that when I knit it, it's going to be practical as well as beautiful. And it actually provides the full coverage of the back. To knit it, I ordered 500 gram of, or is it 1 kilo? No, it's 500 gram. It's 500 gram of Holst yarn, combination of lamb's wool 70% and silk 30%. I will probably add a thread of mohair, or maybe not even, because this yarn is very nice and warm. It's not like, the yarn is not perfect because of the silk that it has. It has little lumps here and there, so it will create uneven texture. That's exactly what I like, because textured garments look much more beautiful than normal garment, like super flat garments. And especially the combination of flat and textured creates very nice visual effect. So that's my knitting for this winter. It's a very cool sock from Novita Knit. They have really cool yarn. It's the first time in my life that I'm ordering this. This is the name of their sock yarn. I have been following this brand for many years, maybe 7 or 8, and I have been fascinated by the Finnish socks. It seems like in Finland there is this big crush on crazy, colorful, patterned, like multi-patterned socks. So after contemplating this for many years, I decided it's about time. So I bought the yarn, and this pattern is free. This particular pattern comes in 4 different variations for all different seasons. I chose My variation, I think it's summer, but there is a slight difference that I made to this particular socks, because I inverted the colors. So the color of the cuff here was blue, and I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of this blue color, but if it's like sprinkled just a little bit, it looks really nice and gives a lot of freshness to this pink and purple palette. And the last project is on me, the last project that I've just finished. It's a Fame cardigan from Hip Knit Shop. It's a Norwegian brand, so they also sell yarn and patterns. But when I calculated the price of the yarn for this cardigan, it would be something like 200 quid. And I decided that this is maybe too much for a cardigan. So I found local, well, not local, but like French website that resells different brands of Nordic yarns. And so this is Viking yarn. I don't think I have I just have the leftover yarn here. Yeah, like for example this nice fluffy ball. So each ball was approximately €6, and so this cardigan altogether ended up being within 50 or €60, so much cheaper than I would have paid for the Norwegian yarn. And I have to say that it's so warm. I don't need more layers. I can even go out in this outside and feel very warm. So these are my almost finished projects because I'm lacking button. I think they're perfect for this cardigan.